The Headhunter event is back in Conan Exiles for a second time. This is an event that came back in the Age of Sorcery, where this involves either capturing or killing sorcerers and either handing their skulls into a big pot that you find at these various camps around the map, or knocking them out and dragging them with your bindings to the caves that you see on the cart behind me and handing them in as live sorcerers for various rewards. And depending on the level of sorcerer that you knocked out would depend on the value of the rewards that you receive, along with various merchants at these various sites that you can purchase weapons and other items from, and we'll take a look at these in this video and show you exactly where all the locations are and just what you can get from them if you decide to have a look at this event. So just what is the Headhunter event? As I say, this is an event that came out back in Age of Sorcery, and the objectives were to either kill or capture unconscious sorcerers around the map, and if you killed a sorcerer and looted their inventory, they would drop a sorcerer's skull, and you could bring those skulls to one of these various locations around the map, which I will show you a little bit later in this video so you know where all of these locations are so you can go out and find them. And then you pop the skulls, as you can see, into the big pot that you see behind me. They will gradually stack up, and the more of them you stack up, obviously the more there is. That's just for demonstration purposes that you can see there. But each time you pop a skull in there, you'll gain various rewards, and some of the rewards you can get are examples in this box just here. You get a mixture of gold and silver coins, some demon blood, possibly some food items at times, alchemical base, and of course the ancient obelisk coins, which is the currency that was used for interacting with the various vendors at these locations. So if you had any obelisk coins left over before and you didn't know what to do with them, keep hold of them going forward, because you are still going to need them now, because this event is now back and it will return again in the future. And you need to use this obelisk coin that you get from this event to, as I say, purchase either weapons, or as we now have, schematics, and also the Mad Prophet armor set that you can collect, along with a vendor that will sell you supply materials and another vendor that will give you either a random worker thrall or a fighter or an archer, which is completely random which one you get, and we'll take a look at those shortly for just what you can potentially get as your rewards. So upon either capturing or killing one of your sorcerers, and you bring their head or the unconscious sorcerer to one of these camps, having either handed them into the cage or put their skull in the pot, you will gain, as I say, some various rewards and some ancient obelisk coin, which you can use to interact with the various vendors that are at these locations. And one of them is like this chap here. You can talk to them and they'll tell you some various different things, or you can purchase either a combatant or a worker for 200 obelisk coins. Now this has changed, because when this first came out in Age of Sorcery, it was 50 obelisk coins for a crafter and 50 for a worker. This is, however, now 200 per crafter or worker, so you can purchase that from this person. That's the pot where you hand your skulls in. You've also got this person here, who is the commander, that will speak to you and just tell you a bit of who they are and what they're doing here. Then if we go over here, got another person here that you can talk to. If we come around the back, there should be another person here, and as you can see there, they will sell you the supply materials. So there are various different vendors at these locations that you can interact with. So this one now that says trade, you click on them now, this now opens up this new menu. So this is a new thing compared to last time. Before, you had a vendor that would sell you one of the black blood tools that was on a rotation, and also a vendor that would sell you a weapon, where now we have a trader which, as you can see here, will sell you various items on the right hand side that you can either purchase for a very cheap obelisk price of 15 up to 100, I think it goes up to, and also some new schematics to learn about profit armor for one thing. Also now a new legendary truncheon, a legendary bindings, and a legendary hammer. And there's also another legendary weapon there with this one as well. Some of these different locations do have different recipes or schematics to learn, and also different weapons, so do have a look around, check out each of the different carts because they do seem to have different ones. The ones that I am seeing the same are the hammer, the bindings, and the truncheon, which we'll take a look at those in a little while. But do check out these vendors and have a look at the prices for what they are. Not too expensive, I don't think. Obviously you don't want them to be too cheap, but you also don't want them to be too expensive. But this is really easy to do because a lot of these camps are strategically placed outside NPC camps where there is at least one sorcerer, if not more. So you should find this pretty easy to do. There are at least 3 if not 4 sorcerers in the den, which is where we are now. Seppa Maru has at least 3 sorcerer locations. Then you've got down on the river, which has a few as well. And I'll play a little clip shortly which will just show you all the locations for the various carts where these Khitan people will be. So if you're here at one of these, you can also obviously interact with one of these people.
Like you, we are strangers in this accursed realm. We seek a way back to our lands in the misty east. And though we have crossed the length and breadth of this hellish plain, a way out remains elusive. But perhaps things have changed. Perhaps this new sorcery may show us a path to deliverance, if it can be understood. To that end, we serve Mekhamoses, Lord of the Black Ring of Stygia, and the fellow prisoner in this forsaken hell. While the workings of this new sorcery are unknown, unproven, and dangerous, who better to tame its secrets than a master sorcerer?
Yep, so there you go. So that guy will tell you the same story as before. And as you can see, that is the den just there, and the cart is here. This will be shown obviously in the little clip very, very shortly. But all of these locations are strategically placed, as I say, outside NPC camps where you will find sorcerers. So it does seem to be that if you knock them out, you do seem to get slightly better rewards for a knocked out sorcerer. However, this time it doesn't seem to affect the level of what they are as to what you get. Previously, if it was a 1, 2, 3 or a named, the better level the sorcerer was, the higher the rewards. But in a little bit of testing I've done, it just seems to be the same. But you have your various vendors again, just as before. Pretty much the same locations for all of these as well, and it works exactly the same as previously. So just what can we get from these various little quests that we can do, if you would call it that? Well, it seems to be upon a bit of testing. If you do a level 1 sorcerer, this seems to be the amount of items that you get, and they're pretty much the same in each box. Just excuse the noise in the background there. Level 2, possibly slightly more on each item, but not a huge increase. Same on a level 3, and again for a named sorcerer, not a huge increase once again. So it seems to be pretty much balanced, and it just seems to be the food item that you get could potentially vary depending on which one you do, and the particular crafters that you can get can again vary as before. 5 different ones, so you've got the choice of a smelter you could get. You can't choose these, it's totally random. So you could get the smelter, a tanner, Ivan Talltree, who is an entertainer, a scout-right armourer, and by the looks of it, a carpenter. I haven't seen a blacksmith or anybody else as yet, but these seem to be the main ones. And with your fighters again, you can get Janos, Varpnir, who's an archer. Then you get also Janos, Marcos being a beast, Varpnir, and of course the good old faithful Delincia Snow Hunter, which if you're after a Delincia where she isn't a guaranteed spawn at the Mounds of the Dead, this is your chance to try and hopefully get her if you can. So all that obelisk you've saved up, or you're going to wait for the event, get to your vendors and see if you can get her, get all your Delincias gathered while you can. A little bit more expensive than last time, as I say. It's now 200 per combatant or worker rather than 50 as it was previously, which I think probably did make it a little bit too easier. So it just means you are going to have to do a little bit more work this time to potentially get them. So with that being said, where are these locations on the Exile Lands? Unfortunately we haven't been able to cover these on Sipter as yet, but as far as I'm aware they will be the same locations as previously. But for those that are interested in the Exile Lands side of things, here's a little clip of all of the locations where you can find these Khitan caravans. So there we go, that is all your locations of where you can find the caravans. Now, as I said earlier, I'll show you a couple of the items that are available from these merchants. A couple of them are pretty cool. One of them is interesting, especially just on the durability side of things. These are legendary items, bear in mind, so you will not be able to repair them. So if you want multiples of them, you're either going to have to ask your server owner very nicely if you play on a community server and purchase them from them, or you're going to have to keep doing this event while it's out and keep purchasing them yourself so that you've got a good stock of them, because once they break, they break. However, they are pretty fun, some of them. One of them is certainly very interesting on the durability side of it. We will go into these in a bit more detail in a future video and show off a lot more of the items, but just for now, if we take a look at this one here, as you can see, this is the Tiger's Truncheon, which is a legendary weapon. Again, no health damage or no armor pen, decent durability and quite lightweight to carry, and this is what it looks like. Just like your regular old truncheon, but obviously it's another legendary, so similar to Seth's Truncheon. This is another interesting one to buy, quite reasonable in price as well, so worth investing into. The other interesting one is this one, the Dead Woman's Tresses, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, which otherwise is referring to hair. But just look at the durability on this one. Now, we don't know if this is a glitch at the time or whether that's intentional, but 20,000 durability is just absolutely ridiculous. Probably even better than the chain bindings or the bindings of the dead that you can make. I don't know what their stats are just off the top of my head, but if you're looking for some really good bindings that are going to last you a heck of a lot of time, I definitely recommend come and try and get yourself a few sets of these, because 20,000 durability is just absolutely insane. Again, quite affordable. And then of course we have the return of the Mad Prophet's armor, which you can see here. This is it without any dye or anything. Pretty much a lightweight armor once again, so I wouldn't necessarily use this as an actual armor set myself. However, it would be pretty cool if you wanted to use it on the illusionary side of things to illusion it for the armor that you like wearing the most. So definitely use that for that. And then the final one we're going to take a look at today is the Misplaced Guardian's Willbreaker, which is this here. As you can see, nice big two-handed hammer again. Looks pretty decent. And again, quite high health damage, quite decent armor pen. A little bit heavy, so just be cautious on that one. But again, okay durability with it, not too bad. At 6,000. Again, don't know if that's correct or not, but that's pretty decent durability for a hammer. So that's another one that you may want to also invest in, also quite a reasonable price. But I believe there are some other weapons also available around the map as well, but we'll leave those for you to explore and discover for yourselves as well. But all seems to be fairly reasonably priced and fairly interesting. Also like the fact that the price is a little more for the workers and combatants now to what it was before, so it's not going to be quite as easy to get them as quick. But overall, pretty interesting for the event. Then I've just put you up to the volcano because I just want to highlight this one especially. This was a bit of an issue in the past with the NPCs for this camp spawning in because of its location within the volcano. It seems to be okay at the moment, but just bear in mind it could be a bit of an issue if it is, because you do get rock donkeys and the unfriendly enemies of the volcano coming across that bridge from there, and they can create some issues, but hopefully this should have all been fixed and it should be perfectly fine. But you'll find this spot here where this campfire is, and if I turn around you can see it's right opposite the obelisk. So if you've already discovered the volcano in the past, you come off the obelisk straight over the bridge and you're straight to this camp. Pretty much a safe area, other than just bearing in mind the people at the bridge. There are rock donkeys that may come over while you're here, but you should be perfectly fine. And any of the guard NPCs here, just make sure if you have a follower with you that they are on passive so they don't just start attacking them, and you should be perfectly fine. But this is the one in the volcano just here, so I just wanted to highlight that one just so that you're aware of that, because that was a bit of an issue in the past. So that's a quick reintroduction to the Headhunter event now back in the game. At the time of this video, this is Age of War Chapter 4 and this is the Headhunter event. So if you missed out on it last time, definitely have a look at it this time. It's certainly worth a look at this one. As I say, a little bit more expensive than last time, but definitely worth a look. And it's quite fun to do this if you enjoy going out killing sorcerers or knocking them out and handing them into people for rewards. It's probably a little bit more worth it this time than last time. As I say, we haven't necessarily covered every single detail with it, but I want to leave a few bits there for you to go out and explore and discover for yourself. If you did enjoy this, if you did find it useful, do me a favour, leave a like, leave your comments down below if we missed any locations where you found another caravan, or if you see a different weapon at one of these locations that you think is really cool and people should know about, let us know down below. Subscribe to the channel for more if you haven't already. It'd be great to have you with us, and then you won't miss out on any future information for Conan Exiles. And while you're there, if you want to know how to get some of these other fighters and crafters that are available in the game, then check out the video on screen and I'll meet you over there.